God ding-a-dang-a-ding-a-ding.
Ga-ding-ga-ding-ga-ding-ding.
Ga-ding-ga-ding-ga-ding-ga-ding. I am Mibbled.
I am Mervolio.
And I am Ben Cuscio.
Yeah. Anyway, here is your weekend update live from Verona, Italy, where your news is our news and our news is your news.
As I'm sure you all know, the Capulets had a huge party this weekend, and, as usual, the Montagues were excluded, but a group of them managed to sneak their way in. One of that group was young Romeo, who's going through a bad breakup in which his girlfriend told him she would rather be a nun than be with him. Ouch. But it couldn't have hurt him that bad, because now he's got a new girl, Juliet, Lord Capulet's daughter. That's right, guys. A Capulet is dating a Montague. Simply unheard of. But that's not all. Later that night, he ended up in her yard and spied on her while she was on her balcony. She was hardly wearing anything. Scandalous. Anyway, once Juliet got over how creepy Romeo was being, she and him talked, plus more, I bet, the whole night away. He was spotted leaving her yard early this morning. Word on the street is they're getting married. It hasn't even been a day since they met and they're already getting married. Friar Lawrence was unavailable for comment when we dropped by to ask him a few questions about this. Seems a little fishy to us. We'll keep you updated. Our news is your news and your news is our news after all. Next up, it's Fashion with Mervolio after this short break. Are you sick and tired of your old, out-of-tune bells? Well, don't worry about that because we have all new improved bells. Perfectly in tune for all those exciting parties you all attend. You'll catch all the guys' attention with these bells. Drop by now and you'll get a special deal. 2 for the price of 1. But you only have until the end of today. Don't delay. Drop by today.
And we're back for Fashion with me. Today, I'm focusing mainly on the fashion of Juliet because of the drama of her dating that Montague Romeo. I was at the Capulet party the other day and she looked simply gorgeous. She definitely stood out, wearing a long red gown. And on her head, she wore a gold beaded cap with orange ribbon braided in her hair. It's no wonder she caught Romeo's attention. She looked gorgeous. She looked better than me, and she's only 13. The next morning, she wasn't as dressed up, but she still looked lovely. She was wearing a brown dress with an apron. She had an orange cap tied in her hair, which I just love. I'm looking for one for myself, but I'm having trouble finding one. They're all the rage right now, you know. Now, I know I said I would only talk about Juliet, but I thought we should take a moment to appreciate how Romeo looked at the party. Nobody can top this. Just look at him. Well, it looks like fashion for today is over. It seems like Ben Cuscio has the latest on Romeo and Juliet's whirlwind Rome.
Don't give it away, it's my time to shine. Hello, Ben Cuscio here. It's time what you've all been waiting for. Me. So, I have the latest on Romeo and Juliet's whirlwind romance. It seems that they have indeed been married. Friar Lawrence still wasn't available to talk to us, but we're assuming he's the one who married them. Anyway, there was a fight in the street today, and 2 people died. Mercutio, Romeo's friend, has been slain by Tybalt, and Tybalt has been slain by Romeo, Juliet's husband. You're probably thinking, what's the big deal? People fight all the time. But the prince has forbidden any fighting between the Capulets and the Montagues. Since Tybalt is dead, the prince obviously can't punish him, but Romeo's still alive, and he's a murderer. Lady Capulet is really pushing for him to be killed, but the prince has settled on banishing him. This wouldn't really be a big deal if he didn't have a new wife in Verona, so how are he and Juliet supposed to see each other now if Romeo faces death by staying in Verona? It seems that this couple of less than 3 days already has a lot of problems they have to face. Well, we'll have to see where they go from here. After this short break, it's sports with me again. Tired of beer and wine? Didn't think so. But you will be once you've tried our new brand of
Breaking news! For unknown reasons that are being investigated as we speak, an angry citizen has set the London Bridge on fire. Well, as they say, the show must go on, so here's Ben Cuscio with sports.
Now it's time for sports with your most favorite person. I'm here to talk to you today about the new and upcoming sports, calico and sword fighting. I'll start off by talking about sword fighting. The 2 main types of swords that are used are rapiers and cut and thrust swords. A new addition to the cut and thrust sword has been added called the parrying lug, which can help greatly with defending your opponent's blade. Mercutio and Tybalt sure could have used that addition. Recently, 2 rivaling towns played a cutthroat game of calcio, and the red team managed to win by just 1 casia. The red team was awarded a white cow and had a great team dinner of Florentine steaks. I sure wish I had been there for that win. Looks like that's all for our sports update for now. Next up is Mibble with Art after this short break.
Want a sword fight but feel like the moves are too hard for you to master? Have no fear, new sword fighting is here. Simply grab your sword and run towards your opponent, kicking your feet up at the back. Guaranteed success.
Bruce Galimi is still at it on developing domes, and just yesterday he has perfected the design of them. Crazy, right? I can see it now. Every building in Italy with domes. They'll be all the rage in modern home decor. Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci are still duking it out to see who's better, although in my opinion I enjoy Leonardo's paintings much more than Michelangelo's. Michelangelo is said to be painting the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, but there are no sources saying it is a for sure thing. But other than that, painters are still painting, writers are still writing, and architects are still architecting. And now a current event with Mervolio.
Now, let me get you all up to date on Romeo and Juliet. They met, they got married, and then Romeo got exiled. I don't know about you, but there's one thing that confuses me. Why didn't Juliet just leave with Romeo? I mean, her parents are about to marry her off to a guy she doesn't like. It would have been simpler to just leave with Romeo. It would have also saved lives. Their own, in fact. That's right, you heard me. They're dead. It seems Juliet had a huge fight with her parents about marrying that other man, so Friar Lawrence gave her a potion that would make her seem dead for 42 hours. Romeo was supposed to come back just when she was waking up, but that's not what happened at all. He came back early because he heard about her death. I guess Friar Lawrence doesn't know how to inform people about his plans. Anyways, Romeo broke into Juliet's tomb and then he poisoned himself. If only he'd waited a bit longer, because she woke up not long after that. When she saw he was dead, she killed herself too. It's the most tragic love story ever. They didn't even know each other for 5 days, and now they're both dead. A funeral was held for them earlier, and both families managed to make it through without killing each other. It seems that this tragedy has mended the hatred between the Montagues and the Capulets. It's just too bad it took their own children dying for them to get along.
And that concludes our weekly update. We're sorry it had to end on such a sad note, but how else were we supposed to get you guys to tune in next time?
You're not supposed to tell them that. Anyways, see you next time on Weekly Update, where your news is our news and our news is your news. Bye! I'm Mibbled.
I am Mervolio.
I am Ben Cushiu!
Okay. Well, it looks like fashion. It's just too. It's just too bad it took their. It's too bad it took their own children dying for them to get along.
Never mind.
So that concludes our and that concludes our And that concludes our weekly update. We're sorry it had to end on such a sad note, but how else were we supposed to get you guys to tune in next time? Oh my god!
Well, no, Amanda.
Just do that.
I was gonna give you a dirty look, so. It's just too bad it took your own children.
Oh my god, I'm stopping it!
On such a sad note, but how else were we supposed to get you guys to tune in next time?
Our news is your news.
Bye!
Someone stop it.
I can't reach it.
Does someone go around the table?